Welcome to the Pulse USA, where we provide insight, knowledge, and education on local businesses across the U.S.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Pulse USA podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Porter, and today we have an exciting guest, Jeff Halpern from Hanna, Realty in Morris Plains, New Jersey. Jeff, I want to thank you very much for coming on the program today.
Thanks so much, Bruce. Great to be here and be with you.
Awesome. Jeff, there's a lot of scuttle going around, with what's going on in the real estate industry today. Why don't you take us through a high level of what you see the real estate market coming up as in the near future here?
Well, what I see is that the real estate market is still in a seller's market mood. We're still seeing little inventory, although we are seeing houses on the market a little longer. But nonetheless, there are still bidding wars and there are still lots of buyers looking, especially now that the rates came down a little bit. It's prompted even more buyers to look, which means that there'll be more bids on homes, which will probably decrease some of the inventory. So that's where we're at right now.
Well, that's a good point. But if the interest rates coming down will help stimulate buyers to buy, but if there's no inventory there, how is that really going to help the market?
It probably won't, unless inventory grows, which I don't see it doing, only because sellers are still staying in their home that are paying 3% interest rates. So it's not at a point yet that prompts them to buy a new home. Plus, the homes that are on the market now aren't just being bought by owner occupants, but they're also being bought by investors, and not just small investors, but large investment companies. And with the lack of inventory, there's obviously less to buy. So yeah, buyers are still struggling. If you're a seller, oh my God, you are in the best position right now.
Well, you say that, you just brought up a very good point, but I have a lot of people that I talk with. If you're selling your home right now, you're probably going to get the most value out of your home right now. However, you need to have a place to live, don't you? Because where are you going to go if the inventory is still low?
Well, what you're finding is probably the ones that are going to become empty nesters are in the best position. Their kids are out, they have the larger homes, they can sell their home, and with the equity in their home, they can probably pay cash, which would that would be to their advantage to buy something and downsize to a smaller place, which will then give more rise to some more inventory of those homes that they're leaving. But they are not right now. I'm seeing a lot more homes being improved than houses going on the market. So the tradesmen are doing pretty well. Real estate agents, I'm having a tough year like every other real estate agent.
Well, rightfully so. It has been tough for real estate agents. And do you think that is going to cull the field of real estate agents, meaning the ones that are the weekend warriors that got into this simply because they wanted to make extra money? They're not the diehards or the professionals like yourself that are doing this day in and day out.
Right.
How is that going to affect them?
Well, to tell you the truth, Bruce, I'd be okay with that. But it is. I mean, I teach the licensing class. And 3 years ago, during the pandemic, I would have 250 people in my class, all through Zoom. Now I'll get 25, maybe 30, maybe 40 tops. So there are a lot less people that are getting their licenses. And you're also seeing agents leaving the business, of course, because there are some jobs opening up outside of real estate that they're looking at that are paying salaries, and the fact that it's been very frustrating. It's not like an HGTV show where you can sell a house in 30 minutes. It's a lot of work, and people don't realize it. And it takes experience, and those who've been in the business for a while, and even the new people who are showing that they have the strength and the diligence to be successful are hanging around too. So that's what we're seeing.
When you say people are leaving, do you see seasoned professionals, realtors actually leaving and going into corporate America?
No, what I'm seeing is early retirements.
Okay.
Agents who have been in the business a while and they're finding it's difficult. So what they're doing is they're just retiring. They're putting the license in a referral company so they still can use their resources and their client base and just refer those people to other agents within their office. I mean, I've run a couple of referral companies and I've seen how that works. It actually works out really well for agents who retire, because instead of having these clients that they had for years, they're actually teaming up with other agents to take over their business. It's a great way to have an exit strategy as a real estate agent.
And they make a commission on those referrals, correct?
Yep, they certainly do. And the beauty about referrals is that they give out a name, someone else does all the work, and they get a commission.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. And all right. And do you see a lot of people transitioning into that?
I see it more than usual. Do I see a lot? Realtors are ones that they really believe that there's always the next deal. And if they leave the business now, the next deal is gone. If they could think about an exit strategy where they have someone taking over their business, at least they're in the game for a while.
So let me ask you this. You spoke a little bit about interest rates dropping and stimulating some of the buyers. What would it be, or what does it take if the interest rates were to drop or go back down to, let's just say, 2.9% or 3%, which really is an unrealistic interest rate if you look at the scheme of things. But if they were to go down there with a shortage of inventory, how is that really going to help buyers as well?
Well, what may happen is more houses will come on the market because of the fact that the people that already have the 3% loans may start selling their house with all their equity and buying other homes. That's what you can see, but you're not going to see 3% again. I mean, the question is what rate is that threshold that's going to prompt sellers to say, you know what? Yes, I got 3%, but it's only this amount now. So maybe it's time I should look for another house, my move-up house or my investment house or my empty nester house where I'm moving down.
Excellent point. Look, when I bought my first home in 1981, interest rates were 16.5%.
Yeah.
And that didn't stop people from buying homes.
Nope.
So, everybody has to look at what the past is because they came into this very low interest rate thinking that was the norm. It's not the norm at all.
No, not
What is your advice? If you had to give some advice to new home buyers right now, Jeff, what would it be?
Well, stay strong. Remember that most of the home asking prices are not the end prices, they are the opening bid. And realize that when you're asked to do highest and best, make sure it's your highest and best. In other words, don't regret if you lose a home for $1. Because if you regret that you lost a home over $1, then you didn't come up high enough. That's my biggest
that's great
advice.
There was another thing that, years back, the homeowner, when they were buying the house and they knew multiple people were bidding on them, because years ago, there wasn't the highest and best offer like there is today, but there were multiple people bidding on a home. And the potential buyer used to write a letter to the homeowner telling them how the property really was the best thing that ever happened to them and how they would love to continue their life in the home. And some of those letters were really heartfelt and they touched the homeowner. And the homeowner would choose them over someone else, even if the bid was a little higher. Do you see any of that today?
The love letters. That's what we call them, the love letters. And I've sold my last 3 houses with love letters. But here's the situation. Not so much that the buyers shouldn't rate the love letters. Question is, do the sellers accept the love letters? Some sellers won't because it may give rise to a fair housing violation. Because I've seen where buyers will put pictures of themselves in the letter. And all of a sudden the seller will say, I like the way they look. I'm going to choose them. So you've got to be very careful as a buyer writing a love letter to stay away from who you are, meaning your demographic, and more about why you want your family to be in this home, or how great the seller did bringing the home up to where they were prompted them to buy, if you know what I mean. So
excellent advice.
Sellers have to be careful too in these love letters because it's all about numbers, yes, but it's all about, a lot of house buying is with the heart. And if you could touch the seller's heart, it's great.
Jeff, that's great advice. One other thing that I want to touch on too is I know listings are very valuable to realtors today. Tell the audience here why they should list with you, what you bring to the table versus another realty firm.
Good question, Bruce. Well, I could say experience, but that's part of it. But a lot of it has to do with pricing the home correctly, helping them stage the home, the marketing of a home. Marketing a home is tantamount to getting the right buyers, but it all starts with price. And it's getting the home out and doing the extra things that help a seller sell. Another big item is negotiating. I know we're seeing lots of bidding wars, but how are you going to disseminate which is the best offer that comes to your home? It's not always the highest price. Sometimes it's conditions. Is a cash buyer better than a mortgage buyer? How can you control the buyers? Because what I'm seeing now, I'm seeing a lot of buyers that are getting buyer's remorse because they feel like they're paying too much for the home. Do you take the highest offer now? No, you might want to take the second highest offer because you have better control over your buyer. How do you have better control? Because you could tell the buyer, the one you took, said, I passed on a higher offer and now you're trying to nickel and dime me. Understand that you bought a house at a lower price, which means that you've already have equity in the home before you even close on the home because someone was willing to pay more for this home. So it's all about control, keeping the deal together. It's tough out there. It's tough for buyers. Even though sellers are getting offers, it's tough on sellers too. So they need an agent that knows how to get through the weeds with them to make them understand that what's the best offer, what's the best way to market the home, and where are you going to get those buyers from? And then closing the deal. I mean, that's all they want. And then how am I going to help them find their new place? It's just not the sale. It's also getting to buy somewhere else. And
Absolutely.
I can find them a place anywhere in the world. I have referral networks that can help them in Ohio, in Italy, wherever they want to go.
Terrific. Jeff, you're the ultimate real estate professional in my eyes. I'm glad you were able to carve out some time to come on the program here. How do people get in touch with you? Why don't you tell everyone here how they can get in touch with you? Should they have any real estate concerns, or they want to list with you, or they have real estate needs?
You can call me anytime or text me at 201-317-7527, or you can always email me at jeffrey.halpern@randrealty.com.
Jeff, once again, thank you very much. Your insight into the market today is outstanding. Thank you for coming on.
Awesome, Bruce. Thanks so much.
Hope you can make it on the program again soon.
Well,
take care.
Thanks, Bruce. Have a great day, everyone.